Eben.
2 weeks recess. It's a big day today. What is your expectation of today, Vanessa?
Eben, yes, it is indeed a big day today at the Western Cape High Court. We do expect Judge Jeanette Traverso to make a ruling in the Section 174 application brought by the defence last month for the acquittal and the discharge of charges against Shrien Dewani. The stage is all set here outside court. A large media contingent, both local and international, have been here since early this morning to secure their places for this all-important judgment. Now, if the judge does rule in the defence's favour, this means that Shrien Dewani will in essence be a free man. That would mean that the charges against him, she'll rule that they be discharged, meaning that he will be able to return home to the UK. It's been quite a long battle to have Mr. Dewani come to South Africa, a long extradition battle, and also a trial that has run for 21 court days. And it is indeed a big moment here at the Western Cape High Court. If the judge finds that there is indeed a case that Shrien Dewani will have to answer, his legal team will then have a couple of options. First, they could decide to close their case without calling Mr. Dewani to testify in his own trial, or they could then opt to go for witnesses, bring witnesses of their own to testify in this trial. But either which way, it could be a very big day for both parties, the state as well as the defence, in this murder trial.
One of the side stories of today is the group Justice for Anni, who've submitted a petition. What are they all about, and what do they want to see?
The Justice for Anni group say that they're an independent group of people with an interest in this case. They've made it very clear that they are not family members of Anni Dewani, and they've really been petitioning for the recusal of Judge Jeanette Traverso. They're accusing her of bias. They're asking for a retrial, and they've lodged an application to this effect to the Justice Minister. And on Saturday, a Justice Minister then wrote back and came out to say that at this point he'll do no such thing. The matter is before the Western Cape High Court Division, and it will then just remain for this matter to come to its finality here in the courts behind me. We do know that the group has been very vocal. They've garnered over 2,000 signatures for this petition, but that won't happen. The Justice Minister has made it quite clear that he has faith in the judicial system and that he won't call or recall Judge Jeanette Traverso. She's expected to make her ruling just after 10 o'clock this morning here in the Western Cape High Court behind me.
An interesting day, a big day one would say, for the courts and the justice system in South Africa as well. You've got 3 accusers, witnesses in jail for this murder. It would then be very difficult if Shrien Dewani walked a free man today, wouldn't it?
Indeed, and this is the feeling that I've at least gotten from a number of people that I've spoken to on the ground, people that have been coming to witness these proceedings in the public gallery as well, have made it quite clear the average South African doesn't seem to think it would be at all fair if Mr. Dewani is allowed to go home, and his co-accused in this case have already been convicted. You'll know that Zola Tongo, the taxi driver, on whose evidence the state's case rests, he's entered a plea bargain with the state, serving a sentence of 18 years. Zwamadora Kwabe, one of the hitmen, serving a 25-year sentence after he also reached a plea agreement. And then the only convicted to not have gone into a plea agreement with the state, Xolile Mngeni, who died last month. So yes, at this point in time, the feeling is that Mr. Dewani should at least be given the opportunity to testify in this trial. We also know that the family of Anni have again spoken out last week, and they're really urging him to do so. For them, they say it's been a 4-year wait for the truth. They've described the past 4 years as torture, and they've really appealed to Mr. Dewani to take to the witness stand to tell them exactly what happened to their daughter. Now, Anni Shindocha, the brother of Anni, last week also said that his parents need closure. The family needs closure. They can't sleep at night. They'll always have these unanswered questions, and said that if he does not testify in his own defence, it would be a mark on the conscience of South Africa. So they're really urging Mr. Dewani to take to the witness stand, but in essence also really, I think, a push for this application not to be granted, because if it is granted, then essentially Mr. Dewani is a free man and he will then be able to return to the UK.
Talking about, finally talking about the family there, Vanessa, they're also talking about suing Shrien Dewani. That's surely not a way to get closure. They must feel that he has a lot to answer for still.
Yeah, there have been reports, Eben, of plans allegedly by the family to sue Mr. Dewani over the fact that he did not make it known to Anni or the family at the time when they got married that he was indeed bisexual, as he later claimed in court papers in his plea explanation here in the Western Cape High Court at the start of the trial on the 6th of October. Last week, Anni's daughter said that this is not the time to speak about any plans that the family may have to sue Mr. Dewani. We know it's been all over various media publications, but he says that this is not the time or the forum to speak about that. The family will, at a later stage, come together and decide on the way forward. What's important for the family, what they've said to us at this stage, is that it's also not about the money. They just want closure and clarity on what happened to Anni 4 years ago while she was on honeymoon. Up until this point, Eben, it's important to say that the family of Shrien Dewani have maintained that they will not be giving media interviews. In an email to the family and their representatives, they've also again declined commenting to the media, saying that they want this matter to play itself out in court and not in the media itself. So I'm not quite certain whether or not the family, the Dewanis that is, will speak to the media once this trial is concluded, but so far they've remained mum.
Vanessa, thank you very much. I understand you have to get into the court. There's a big day in the Western Cape High Court. Vanessa Poonah will keep us updated throughout the rest of the day on all of our shows as to what is happening there. Judge Janet Traverso is expected to give that ruling, a very important ruling it is in the Shrien Dewani case, in about an hour's time. We'll keep you updated how that